Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to take you through how you can um, set up your Yoast SEO plugin and from start to finish, and what the best settings will be to enable and disable on your plugin. So what is Yoast? Yoast is a SEO plugin for WordPress. There's over 5 million active users and installations. It's one of the most popular SEO plugins for WordPress, and it basically improves your website's rankings on search engines by helping you optimize your site's content and keywords. A lot of what Yoast does is automated, but still needs your input and some planning. So that's just a basic overview. Let's get started. So in this tutorial, the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to install Yoast. So if you come to your menu on the side, go to plugins, click add new. We are going to search for the Yoast plugin, and once it comes up we can click on install now. And once it's installed we can go ahead and click on activate. So once it's activated, we can see it will come up here on the side, and we can just go ahead and click on Yoast SEO and click on that tab, and this will bring us to our Yoast SEO dashboard. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to first need to do the first time configuration, and we can just go ahead and click on first time configuration. Can click on SEO data optimization, and we can click on edit, and this will just it will basically check your website for any optimization, and you can just click on continue. Site representation, so we want to go over here, and so the first thing it asks you is if your website is an organization or a person. So you can just click on what it is. For us it's an organization. Your website name, it will pull this through automatically, but you can just add that in. Your organization name and your website name. Your organization logo, you can add that, and then you can click on save changes. It's fine, just click on save. I've already added that. Social profiles, you can go ahead and edit that. I've already added my profiles in. You can add your Facebook profile, you can add your other social media profiles, and you can add your TikTok profile, your Instagram, whatever you have, and that will ensure that it actually links through to your website, and that it will be picked up for SEO. You can click on personal preferences. You can it's up to you whether you want them to track your site data or not to help it improve, or you can also add to your you can add a newsletter, and you can add your email over there if you want them to email you with any new changes that they might have. And then once that, you can just click on save changes, and that will be how you started your Yoast configuration, your first time configuration. And then after that, the next thing we need to do is we're going to need to click on settings, and then the first tab we have is site features. So in site features, most of the stuff that are enabled by default is okay, it's all good. You're going to need all that for SEO to help you to rank. The only thing that you might consider is maybe Slack sharing, dependent if you want it to be shared on Slack or not. Um, Everything else is fine. We definitely want XML sitemaps. That's very important. So what XML sitemaps do is basically just gives them the search engines a map, essentially a map of your website. Um, that's all fine. We can go carry on and we can click on site basics. Over here we're going to need to fill in your hotel, your website name. If you have an alternate website name, you can add your tagline in there. I've already done that. And then you can select which title separator you like, whether it's a dash or a pipe. It's completely up to you. And then you can also go ahead and add a site image. And the recommended size they do say there is 1200 by 675 pixels. You can go ahead and add that. I won't do that for now. Site preferences, restrict advanced settings for authors. You can just leave that on, and then usage tracking, that's completely up to you whether you want that to be tracked. The next thing we can go to is site representation. It's organization, it's not a person. Organization, we can add again our name, and we can add our logo. You can add your profiles again, but that's all fine for now. It all pulled through from the previous step. And then site connections, so over here we can add our verification codes to any other services such as Baidu, Bing, Google, Pinterest, or Yandex. So I do have a video, you can check it up. I'll put it up in the cards, where you can set up your Google Search Console. This is probably the best tool, free tool for SEO when it comes to monitoring or tracking your SEO progress on Google. The next thing is content types. We can click on homepage. You can actually just want you to you can edit the homepage itself for that. For posts, we can click on posts. So over here we can enable or disable if we want to show posts in our search results. So this is dependent on whether you have a blog on your website or not, and you do regularly update it with posts. If you don't, you can disable it. That's fine. If you do, you can come over here and you can create basically a template, an SEO template for each post. So this will be the default template that it will use. Your SEO title, you can insert a variable, or you can use the default. You can delete a variable also. That's completely up to you. You can do the same for your meta description, or you can add your own meta description in there as well. If we go over to Yoast's website, it will give us a list of the basic variables that you have available. So you have things like date, tag, category, and separators, and so on. It also has some advanced variables that you can pull in automatically, and this is particularly helpful if you have a big website. So that's SEO and meta description. Social appearance, that's locked for premium users. You can upgrade your plan to a premium plan if you like. The schema. So the schema is basically what tells search engines how your page is structured so that it can better interpret it, and it makes it easier for places like Google to be able to tell exactly what kind of page it is, to be able to rank it. So you can go ahead and select what type of page it is, if it's a contact page or a frequently asked questions page or so on. But if it's a normal page, you can just click on the default of web page. And then article type, you can also select if it's appropriate. Additional settings, enable SEO control and assessments. We do want that enabled. We actually always want that enabled, because without it, it's not showing it in Google. And then you can just click on save changes. Once that's done, we can carry on to pages, and this is each page on our website. This is also the default template that it will use. And again, as you can see, it's exactly the same as posts, so I won't go through it again, but I'll just run through it very quickly. Again, we want to show our pages in search results. You can add your title, whether it be via a variable or text itself, and then you can also just select your schema and enable it. The next thing to go to is our categories and tags. You can click on categories. You can show category dependent also if you have categories on your website or not. You can enable it or disable it. I don't have categories on my website, so I'll just leave it on disabled. The next thing we can go to is tags. This is also whether you have tags on your website. You can enable it or disable it. It's completely up to you whether you have it or need it, depending on your particular website. The next thing we can go to is the advanced tab, and we can click on breadcrumbs. Crawl optimization is for premium accounts only. So breadcrumbs is, it's a quite important thing. You can use it. You can actually add your own shortcut to any pages or posts for breadcrumbs, and that will also now help at Google. So it's quite important. Google can easily navigate your website, and if you have visitors, they can always click the back button. So that's what it's going to help to do. Breadcrumb appearance, so you can add the separator if you want a different anchor text for your homepage. I like to bold the last page, just looks a bit nicer. Breadcrumb for your post. You can, for most people, this is just going to be left to none. It can be changed for more advanced websites, and then you can click on save changes. You can head over to author archives, and then on author archives, this is whether if you're running more than one author on a blog or not. If you are, you can leave it on. If you are not, you can disable it, because then it's not necessarily needed and it will just cause duplication. So we can save changes, and then we can go on and click on date archives, and then we can also disable this, and save changes, and then we can click on format archives, and then I will disable this as well. It just causes a whole lot of duplicate content, and it's not needed. And I'll save changes. You can go ahead and click on special pages. and that's fine like that. You can click on media pages. So WordPress actually automatically it creates a media page for every page that you have. So we definitely want this off because it's just gonna um, increase the size and obviously lower the speed of our website. So we can disable that if it wasn't already, and that's fine. RSS, nothing, we don't need anything there unless we want to enable that. But that's it for settings. You can head over to integrations now. So these are all the integrations that are enabled. It will pick it up automatically to see which you need. So for example, I don't have WooCommerce, so it won't be enabled. If you do, just make sure that this is enabled, but that's all fine for now. And then we can go ahead and click on tools. Just run you through this quickly. So the import and export setting, this is basically if you want to export your settings from one site and you can re-import it on another site. You have a file editor and you have a bulk editor where you can, so your file editor is where you can quickly change your robots.txt, and then on your bulk editor, this is where you can come and you can change your Yoast title, and you can do that for all your pages all at once if you want. But that's tools. And then lastly, the last thing I wanted to show you is that if you go to any page that you have, for example on your website, the Yoast plugin will show itself at the bottom of a page or on the side depending on your website. So as you can see, it will show up here at the bottom, and it will enable you to optimize that page for SEO. So I'll just run you through this quickly. Your focus key phrase, this will be your website name. Let's go with that. And then if we carry on, your Google preview, sorry, it will give you a preview of exactly how it will show on Google. So as you can see over here, this is your slug, which is home, which is written over there. This is your title, this is the date over there, that is your meta description, which is over here. So you can also add a variable for your SEO title if that's how you want it to show. Currently it's showing title page separator site title. You can add or delete that. And then also what it has is it has a progress bar or a performance bar that will actually turn green or red depending on how good it is. So you'd always want to keep it in the green, just to stay in the guidelines. For example, if I had to remove this, you can see there it shows that it's orange, so it's not as great. Let's add that in again and it goes back to green. So you want to stay within that guidelines for your title, your slug, your meta description. If you click on this over here, it will give you an analysis of the page and what the results are, any problems, and what you can improve. Outbound links, some of the things are not, you don't have to, it's not as important. For example, the home page, there's no outbound links, it's not as important. But there are some gems in here that you can take and you can actually use it as an audit to be able to improve your page. There are a few other things you can connect to Wincher, and this will also track your SEO performance. But yes, there's also a tool bar over here that says your readability, is your SEO analysis okay. So overall you can use it for for all your SEO on your website, and it will help you to improve your SEO, and hopefully that works for you. If you found this video helpful in any way, I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe to the video, to the channel. Thank you guys for watching.